What's going on, everyone? I'm meteorologist Tyler Sherrod, and welcome to your Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. Right now over Doak Campbell Stadium, it's a similar view to what we had yesterday with those cloudy skies mostly. You see a couple of breaks in the clouds, but it's been a very dreary day for the most part. Currently 52 degrees with those cloudy skies. Winds are coming out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. As we look at the whole Big Bend region, pretty cold, upper 40s and lower 50s for everyone here. And conditions are starting to dry up now. Dew points in those lower 40s for the region. So although it's cloudy, not quite as much moisture in the air as we saw yesterday, and you can see no real rain to be seen. A couple of sprinkles all around the Big Bend region, but nothing too big to worry about. But we're going to see some peaks of sun this week, some chances for showers on Friday as well. And as we go into the weekend, a chance for sunshine as well. All that and more on FSU Weather.
January 12th, Knowles. It is now 2021. It is great to be back forecasting with you after our break. Hope everyone stayed well. And we're on to, like I said, it's going to be a fantastic year for us. Skies are looking bright, and our future is looking bright, just not today. We do have some low clouds in the area, but we can assure you that will clear up by tomorrow, Thursday, and then our next test will be arriving Friday. But until then, we can expect some cool conditions. We're still going to be below average, but overall, it won't be anything too bad because we've really been used to some pretty cool temperatures. Fun fact, December, according to the National Weather Service, had 8 days below freezing or 30 degrees. I'm not sure which the numbers, but I mean, that's an amazing stat for Tallahassee. Even though we're in northern Florida, we still don't expect to be quite this cool. But like I said, we are in a warming up trend. Things are going to get better. And I think that's just kind of cool. It correlates with our forecast. I think the future is going to look bright. 62, like I said, tomorrow, or sorry, it's going to be in the 50s, and then Thursday we're going to be in the lower 60s. So if you're from north and you came down from Christmas vacation, you're in Tallahassee, maybe you hit the pool if you really are a true snowbird. That is okay. Not me, but if that's you, I'm all for it. But we definitely have an exciting show on tap. We're covering the NFL playoff games. We're covering local forecasts, Florida, Southeast, National, lots of snow. So definitely an exciting show on tape. And I hope you enjoy it. And so for now, we're going to send it off to our one of our TV student meteorologists, Evan Thomason.
Thank you very much, Hayden. You didn't have to provide that much of an introduction, but thank you. Currently outside, pretty much a blanket of clouds out right now. Nothing too big and too massive and too thick to be able to provide much rain, which is great news, but it's keeping the temperatures down. 52 degrees is what we're sticking at. And the highs have really not gotten to 60 much at all in the past week or so. So it's been very dreary and very chilly out, especially with the northern wind at 8 miles an hour. It's helped keep the rainfall down, but it's also brought in drier and colder air. See here, our highs definitely below average of that 63 degrees, but at least a little bit of moisture we had coming yesterday. We got our lows up a little bit above the 30s. So currently, temperatures around the 50s. Might need just a little bit of a light jacket if you head outside right now, out anywhere. 50 degrees in Thomasville, 52 in Tallahassee, and we got 50 down in Apalachicola. These dew points have really allowed, actually, these temperatures to get to where they are, being so low in the 40s. We usually have most of these dew points around in the 50s or 60s, even for this time of year because of how close we are to the coast. And it's really allowed our temperatures to get down into the 50s. Currently, satellite and radar, you see this blanket of clouds is currently on our satellite and radar, but not producing too much rain, as I said, because it's not thick enough to be able to produce it in the atmosphere. So take a look at our upper level water vapor and see a system that produced a lot of snow, actually, for Mississippi and Louisiana earlier in the week and provided a little bit of some rainfall for us yesterday. Made it kind of a gloomy day over the past 2 days. Now finally getting a little bit offshore and basically along the tail end of that, still a little bit of some onshore flow, providing some steady cloud cover. And for the next 24 hours, pretty much just be on and off clouds. Partly cloudy, could see some definite breaks is what our future cast is showing for you. But overall, still the clouds entirely not going to be able to go away. So because we also still have that steady northerly flow, still steadily cold into the 30s again tonight. 37 is our low in Tallahassee, 37 in Thomasville, excuse me, and 38 in Valdosta as well. As warm up a little bit tomorrow, pretty much going to be the same highs in the mid-50s, 56 in Tallahassee, 57 over in Perry as well. So tonight, bring out the heavy coat. It's going to be very clear. At least it'll be clear, but it'll be very cold as well for you. Bring out the heavy coat. And then lots of sunshine for tomorrow, but still staying in the mid-50s. Look ahead to your 7-day forecast. We are going to be looking at possibly going up to about 60 on Thursday and into Friday, but that leads right into a cold front coming through on Friday, which is going to be delivering us a lot of rain and dropping our lows down to the 30s for the weekend. But now we're going to toss it off to Tyler with a look at our southeast.
Thank you, Evan. Here in the southeast, things are pretty similar as what we're seeing here in Tallahassee, although a little bit warmer as you go down to the peninsula of Florida. Orlando is 60 degrees. And as we move towards the west, Jackson, you guys are at 45 degrees. Shreveport a little bit warmer at 49. And once again, our hot spot, as usual, is Miami at 74 degrees. Even during the winter, you're going to keep those temperatures fairly high, getting into the mid-70s there. And conditions all throughout the southeast are pretty dry, except for where we see some of that rain falling in central Florida and South Florida. We have a lot more moisture there. But behind that cold front that moved through earlier, we have a lot more dry air for the southeast, especially in Little Rock, Arkansas, with the dew points at 27 degrees. And our winds are mostly coming from the north now, which is helping bring in some of that drier continental air. If we had more of a southerly flow, we'd be bringing in more moisture into the region. So that's why, at least over here in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, we're seeing a lot more dry conditions. But as we get into central Florida, some of those winds do get to carry in some of that moisture, as well as some of the moisture associated ahead of that front, really helping bring a lot more moisture to central Florida. And you can see it right here, a lot of cloud coverage in central Florida as well as South Florida, even seeing some rainfall in South Florida as well. Nothing too heavy, but fairly consistent as we look at it. And as we zoom out to the rest of the southeast, you're mostly just seeing some cloud coverage around South Georgia and South Alabama. And as we move a little bit more westward, things are clearing up in Mississippi, but still seeing a little bit of rainfall in southwest Louisiana. Upper level water vapor showing where all that moisture is at right now in central and South Florida once again. And these spots right here showing all that dry air. So even in the upper levels, we're seeing a lot of dry air for most of the southeast. For tonight's forecast, going to be pretty cold in Mississippi and Alabama, 28 degrees for Jackson, 31 degrees for Montgomery. Even colder as you move further up. Little Rock, Arkansas is 28 degrees for that low. As we move into Florida, things are going to be a little bit warmer for those low temperatures. Jacksonville's going to be at 41 degrees. Tampa going to be a nice 50, and then Miami, their low temperature for tonight is going to be 63 degrees, so not too bad. Their low temperature is actually going to be higher than our high temperature in Tallahassee today. For tomorrow, Tallahassee is going to get up to 56 degrees. Montgomery is going to get up to 51. Once again, most of Florida is going to be fairly warm for the most part. Orlando is going to get up to 65 degrees. Miami just barely misses out on that 80-degree mark. They're going to be up to 79 degrees. And as we move a little bit further westward, things are going to cool down just a little bit, but going to be some similar temperatures to Tallahassee. Montgomery, 51 degrees. Jackson, 52. And then Shreveport going to get up to 59 degrees. Now we're going to pass things off to Evan with a look at our national forecast.
Thank you very much, Tyler. We get into our national look to see things all happening around the country. See how cold we are. And well, we see a lot of blue pretty much on this graph right here. A lot of cold air dropping along the Appalachian Mountains further down on the East Coast, and also on the west side over by the Rockies, 37 in Salt Lake City. And there's 40s also getting down into Albuquerque and San Antonio, 47 degrees out there. Very impressive and very chilly, especially after a little bit of cold front came through just off to our east in Tallahassee. So it's leaving us pretty dry ever since that system came through, except for Miami, still sitting down in the tropical hot spot at a 65 dew point. Besides that, very dry, and which is pretty good actually. There's no major system that's really encompassing much of the United States much at all. I see 3 high pressure systems entirely counting our way blanketing the southeast and even up into the northeast, giving them a little bit of a break, except for a little bit of snow further up into Buffalo, New York. Might get to that in a second. So huge wave of water vapor actually coming onto the west coast, so delivering a little bit of some rain showers up for there. But besides a little bit of that, we're just driving a little bit of moisture. Fairly dry for most of the country, especially since this little system just delivered some snow earlier this week to Texas and Louisiana. That's now finally out of the way. Drought monitors still have very dry conditions further out to the west that are contributing to the wildfires. Good news is it's very cold, so the coldness really isn't helping those fires much at all, which is good news for them, but still very dry, especially compared to a little bit of the east coast. So for tonight's forecast, pretty much very cold everywhere, especially the lows everywhere. Scoot back for a second. 33 down, maybe 33 in the 30s. What we could get down to in Tallahassee. Cold spots looking around in the Rockies. Denver at 28 and 25 in Salt Lake City. Might be a little bit warmer than on the West Coast. You hit 54 in LA and 47 in San Francisco. But we're going to not warm up that much for tomorrow's forecast, especially for the highs. We're not getting above 40 in Chicago at all. And still 38 in Minneapolis as well. Might reach the 60s down in Texas, finally bringing up a little bit of moisture to help out some warmth, especially after that snow came through a little bit earlier this week. But still draping cold along the Rockies. See the spark of blue that still goes all the way down. And we're still reaching about 51 degrees in Washington, D.C., and possibly 50s pretty much for the most of the southeast. But for now, we're going to toss off to Hayden with a look at our next local look.
Yeah, we got to look at our local forecast, Tallahassee, what's popping. Not much with the sunshine, that's for sure. There are some peaks popping out there, but you can see that low stratus stack still hanging over. See the beautifully lit Doak Campbell Stadium. And this is a scene we've been seeing for a large portion of the time. So for right now, currently it's 52 degrees, cloudy, a north-northwest wind 8 miles per hour. So definitely seeing some cool air advection into the region, and these guys will slowly start to open up as we get some dry air and a high pressure builds into our area. We will see much sunnier conditions, still cool. We're still going to be in a very chilly air mass as those north winds slowly give way and that cooler advection starts to taper off. But for right now, it's still going to be very chilly times. Maybe a good night for a fire and marshmallows, s'mores. I'm not a big s'mores guy myself, but I know a lot of people love them. 52 Tallahassee, Apalachicola 50 degrees, and up into Georgia, probably peaking some upper 40s there. So definitely something to keep, maybe a thicker jacket, a parka, maybe even be necessary for those true Floridians. 42 Tallahassee, the dew point amount of moisture in the air. Not a lot of moisture despite the clouds, definitely not feeling any humidity for sure. 44 Apalachicola, and once again, Georgia seeing dew points in the lower 40s. Pretty much even Steven around the region. And this is because we have a northwest flow. So we had a shortwave trough kind of come into the area. So that's a cold front essentially. And then it really brought some northerly flow behind that high pressure. And we were getting a northwest wind. Like I said, Tallahassee 8 miles per hour. So not strong, but a decent breeze. It might actually feel a little bit in the upper 40s of that wind chill. I'll have to take a look at that. But currently you can definitely see some cooler advection into the region. And that just shows you're not going to be warming up anytime soon. Another reason why we probably stayed a little bit cooler than we thought originally today in the mid-50s, you can see these milky clouds into the satellite, especially towards Lake City for a satellite wind now. This is indicative of some low clouds, and that's why we didn't see a lot of sun today, even some signs of some showers earlier, so kind of some misty, drizzly feel, definitely kind of raw, if you want to say. I know a lot of our producers have come up with that term there, and so same thing with Carabel, maybe a shower or two came into the region. But like I said, those clouds will start to taper off, and tomorrow afternoon it looks pretty good. A lot of the sunshine is going to dominate the area. Any low clouds will stay north of Albany probably. And our temperatures will still stay pretty cool, but we'll probably warm it to the upper 50s. And it's just different when you have that sunshine opposed to cloudy skies. I think it's going to be a nice change. I know it's been pretty dreary. We'll have some bright conditions, and hopefully you can start to feel that kind of sun. We are in Florida after all. And then Thursday will actually be 62 degrees. And so compared to what we've been to, it's going to be very warm. It's seasonable for this time of the year, especially on Thursday for January. And we're kind of in the heart of winter in mid-January. I know Florida State is a basketball game. I believe it's at NC State. and so we'll definitely have some good conditions. It's actually at FSU, so it'll be a perfect time for the Tucker Center. If you're walking out, temperatures are probably around the low 50s. So like I said, do bring a jacket for the game tomorrow night as well. You'll need it, but overall, nothing too polar crazy. 37 tonight, clear and cold. The west-northwest winds. We'll have some patchy frost possible, especially north of the I-10 area. And as you head closer to the coast, it's going to be a little bit warmer due to that warmer Gulf waters. So you probably won't have a freezing effect there as much. And like I've been talking about, tomorrow the sun finally comes out in full blast, 56 degrees, so very cool. The winds will start to calm off, so we won't have a northerly wind as much. And now will start to be the sign of us getting a little bit of a warmer air mass for another cold front comes down on Friday, unfortunately. But it's still a beautiful day to get out and land this, enjoy that sunshine. So the grass will start to warm up, it'll become very dry, probably won't be moist, so it'll be a good time to put your picnic down. And like I said, the week ahead, temperatures will be in the 60s, dropping off into the mid-50s, and staying there for the most part till Tuesday, finally getting up to 62, but lows will be in the 40s and 30s. And so now we're going to pass it off over to the desk with Tyler.
Thank you, Hayden. That forecast for the next 2 days looks amazing, really. The sun finally starting to come back out, especially on Thursday whenever we get those high temperatures back into the 60s. Unfortunately, probably going to see some more rain come through on Friday. Things looking like they're going to clear up on Saturday and Sunday. So we're finally getting out of this dreary, cloudy weather pattern that we've had here in Tallahassee, except for Friday. So definitely have that to look forward to. But what I'm going to start getting into now is some unusual snow that we saw in the southern part of the United States in regions that don't usually get snow. So over the weekend, a snowstorm ripped through a lot of the south. Lots of snow fell throughout Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi as well. Seeing snow in Texas is not unheard of, but Louisiana and Mississippi definitely much rarer, even though it is happening in the northern portions of those states. So some parts of northern Louisiana saw up to 8 inches of snow, which I can't even imagine. I saw snow for the first time about a week and a half ago when I went up to North Carolina, and that was just snow on the ground. Maybe an inch at most, but I don't even know if it was that much. I can't imagine 8 inches of snow falling, especially if you live in Louisiana. Definitely not used to something like that happening. As we get towards central Mississippi, they saw snow as well. They reported several inches, some regions seeing up to 6 inches of snow there. So once again, 6 inches of snow, that's a lot for a place like Mississippi. We're talking about the southeast. No one here is really used to seeing that kind of snowfall. And then once we get into Texas, they saw even more snow than Louisiana and Mississippi. Cities near Waco, Texas saw up to 9 inches of snow. So Texas getting hit even harder. I know some of our FSU weather alumni saw a lot of snow. We have a former producer living in Lubbock now. He had several inches of snow there. Another former producer living in College Station, going to Texas A&M, he saw snow there as well. So really, all throughout the central parts of Texas saw a lot of snow, as well as Louisiana and Mississippi. Now I'm going to pass things off to Evan for a look at the Florida forecast.
I just wish we had a little bit of snow here, at least, possibly with these colder temperatures. I know some people, that's the reward for getting especially such cold temperatures, when NWS themselves said about 8 days of temperatures below 30 degrees, which could have produced snow for December, which is so we basically had 8 days that were below 30 degrees last month that could produce snow, but sadly they did not. Instead, we're dealing with temperatures in the 50s, which are a little more comfortable, I know, especially for people down in Miami, which we're still hitting up with a hot spot of 74 degrees. I know it's not hot, but it's definitely warmer than 51 in Jacksonville, and still hitting 44 in Pensacola, getting a little more cooler on that cool spot of Florida. Hey, thanks to the dew points as well. Very humid in Miami. 65 is our dew point there. 65 also in West Palm, but let's get into the Panhandle, northern Florida, 40s all across the region, and help them to get a lot cooler, especially as the night has gone along there. So as we get into our upper level water vapor, see a lot of moisture crossing the peninsula, especially most of this is what you're seeing right when Tyler was talking about how much snow was Texas and Louisiana was getting. That's mainly from this system right here, which is kind of fizzled out. It was a lot more organized when it was a lot farther out to the west before it came over to Tallahassee. That's why we barely got anything in Tallahassee at all. But still leaving us with a little bit of lingering cloud cover, especially as you get farther along the peninsula itself. A little bit of shower activity further off in southern Florida itself. As we look on the northern side, do have very dry conditions at least. Just a small blanket of clouds which have been able to prohibit much of the panhandle from getting any higher temperature than desired, basically sticking with those coats and jackets alike all across there. So as we get down to Fort Myers, see a little bit of some small shower activity there, a little bit fizzling out as the night has gone along with a little bit of the heating, with us cooling down into the nighttime. But Miami, boy, it's going to be a drizzly and wet drive going anywhere along the drive to Key West at all. And if you're going up anywhere north as well into West Palm Beach, still going to be a little bit of a drizzly and rainy drive for you. And we're going to look to continue that trend for the most part. Maybe a little bit of a break tomorrow, but still on and off showers looking for you for Thursday and Friday. As for Tampa, should be getting a little more onshore flow tomorrow, especially with that lingering front still along. Cold front further out to the east, but might get a little bit of a break as well on Thursday, maybe even into Friday as well. Orlando still sticking with those showers as well, but for Thursday and Friday, much better weekend activity, especially those highs getting up to about 71 degrees for you on Fridays. We get up into Jacksonville as well, starting to warm up a little bit as well until that cold front comes on Friday for North Florida. And that's also what we're going to be looking like for Pensacola as well. A little bit less of a rain chance for Pensacola there. But, yeah, it's going to be very cold for there, especially for tonight. Still in the 30s in North Florida. But look at the peninsula. At least we're hitting 79 degrees and 76 degrees in Miami and West Palm Beach. But let's go over our sports desk with Hayden.
Yes, thank you, Evan. Weather is great, but the only thing that even comes close to it, football. All right, we got the Rams at Packers in the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field, and it will be such, freezing actually at 4:35, mostly cloudy 30 and 30 degrees at 6 p.m., and at 7:30, mostly cloudy skies 29. I've actually seen some forecasts with flurries, so not be surprised if they did have some snowfall in that region, and if not, it is just going to be cloudy and very cool. It's also to see if Aaron Rodgers can deal with Aaron Donald in that stunt defense. And now we have the Ravens at Bills, also part of the frozen tundra. And our forecast will verify that. 8:15 kickoff, snow 36 degrees, tapering off at 9:30 to flurries, and then cloudy. Temperatures will be pretty much around freezing. So we'll have to see that benefits Lamar Jackson, Baltimore's running game, with conditions versus the Bills' passing game. So it's definitely some interesting things. The weather might have impact on that game, the styles they play. Browns have Chiefs, the mighty underdog Browns. They could have a chance. I think they have a higher chance than people think. It'll be a little bit warmer. Temperature will be above freezing in the lower 40s. And lastly, of course, Buccaneers, the Saints, Tom Terrific, and Tampa Bay will take on the Saints. Temperatures will be in the 50s with some showers. But like I said, it is in a dome, so weather conditions will be just fine for that game. And I do hope the Buccaneers get a win. It'll be a very good game. And so now we're going to bring it over to Tyler and his new segment.
Thanks, Hayden. Not actually a new segment, a classic here at FSU Weather, our local forecast. Over Doak Campbell Stadium, still seeing those cloudy skies as the sun starts to set here. Luckily, you're going to start to see those clouds clear out as we go throughout tomorrow. Currently 52 degrees with the wind coming from the north-northwest, bringing in some drier air into the region. Our almanac today showing our high is below the average at 55 degrees. Our average is around 63. A record high was 81 degrees in January. Can you believe that for North Florida? Our low temperature, 48 degrees, a little bit warmer than average. Still have a little bit of moisture in the region, helping keep things warm, relatively speaking, for our low temperatures. Record low, 14 degrees in 1982. Temperatures all throughout the region are pretty similar. Tallahassee, 52. Thomasville getting down to 48 degrees. And Apalachicola, actually colder than Tallahassee despite being closer to the water. They're at 50 degrees right now. And the Muggy meter showing that there is still some moisture in the region. Oh, they're actually changing. Very dry. Now it's dry. There is a little bit of moisture in the region, but things aren't too bad here, especially compared to yesterday. Going to continue to see these conditions get better as we go throughout tomorrow. For satellite and radar, we see some clouds in the sky, but you can kind of see it breaking up a little bit if you look closely there. See some showers moving across the southern coastline near Port St. Joe and Carabel, but nothing to worry about here in Tallahassee. We're not going to see any more rainfall. So the next 24 hours, as I've been talking about, you're going to see those skies clear up a lot. Might see some clouds roll through here and there for Tallahassee and Thomasville, but a great day to look forward to tomorrow. For tonight, though, going to get down to 37 degrees. Going to keep it cold. Things clearing up as well. That's going to help. Whenever you don't have cloudy skies at night, that's going to get things even colder. So we're going to have clear skies tomorrow, but unfortunately that means things are going to get colder tonight as well. For tomorrow, 56 degrees, lots of sun. If you're at FSU, be sure to, I don't know, walk around Landis Green or something like that. Enjoy the first good weather that you've gotten at FSU this semester so far. So let's go through the week ahead. Wednesday, 56 degrees once again. Thursday, we're going to get up to 62 degrees. Still a 10% chance of rain, but nothing to worry about there. Just some light showers if we do see anything. The real chance of rain is going to be on Friday with a 45% chance as we have another front move through the region. Things are going to cool down on Saturday and Sunday as a result, but we're going to keep things sunny. And then as we go to Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see Monday, high temperature going to be 56, and then going to get back up to 62 degrees on Tuesday with a rain chance around 10%. And if you look at those low temperatures, we're going to be going anywhere from the lower 30s to the lower 40s for our low temperatures. Saturday night, we're actually going to get below freezing at 31 degrees. So watch out for some possible frost that night as well. Now we're going to pass things off to student meteorologist Evan Thomason at the desk to close out the show.
Thank you very much, meteorologist Tyler Sherrod. Anyways, hope you had a great show today. Hope you enjoyed our show tonight. But let's keep in mind the rain on Friday, just so you're aware in itself, shouldn't be too much of a severe threat, as we have. Good news is it's our only rain chance this week, which is good news for that, except the 10% for Wednesday or Thursday. We had a slight shower with a little bit of those lingering clouds still left that we are seeing today, especially along the coastline. But when the cold front comes through Friday, shouldn't be too many severe threats. We had some flooding concerns actually a week or two ago with the cold front that came through. There's not going to be as much the same concern here. In fact, look at the temperatures. Yes, they do drop the highs by about only 5 degrees. And they drop the lows, though, by about 10 degrees. So when we see most powerful cold fronts, they can drop temperatures as low as by quickly 20 degrees even. So this isn't too much of a powerful cold front. It is a cold front, it is a cold front in itself, but shouldn't see too many flooding or tornadic events possibly appearing up on Friday. Should just be pretty much a light rain, maybe some heavy downpours at times, but shouldn't be too much of a flooding threat or severe weather threat to be dealing with at all. And then looking at the rest of the week, as I said, could get back into the 20s possibly on Saturday night, but overall, lows are sticking mostly in the 30s. I hope you have that cold weather jacket present, especially heavy coat, be able to suffice the cold weather going through. And you can check us on all of our social media platforms, especially YouTube. I mean, you're watching us on YouTube, so I hope you know that we're live on YouTube. Anyways, if you want to send us heavy coat pictures of you and yourself, how cold it is outside, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason. Have a great night, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.